Fortnite Mobile is officially back, but there is one massive issue. The optimization and frames are absolutely horrible. Well, what if I told you I had a way, I promise, I put it on my life, that I can noticeably improve your FPS. Welcome to the ultimate iOS optimization guide. I've spent countless hours doing research to find the absolute best methods to improving FPS on your iOS device. But through my research, I actually surprisingly discovered the root cause of 90% of your FPS drops on Fortnite Mobile, and it's actually due to a bug currently in the game. So after I go over the methods to improving your FPS, at the end, I will actually show you guys the most important change that you guys can make to your game right now that will actually stop this bug from happening and will instantly stop a majority of your frame drops. So make sure you guys obviously stick around until then, but for now, let's get into it. So to start this off, I just want to go over the changes you guys can actually make in game right now to get some better frames. All right, now first off, no matter what device you're playing on, I would recommend setting quality presets to low. I don't really care what you guys are playing on. I'm literally playing on the best iPad Pro that you guys can literally get, and I'm still playing on low graphics. All I'm saying, if you're playing Fortnite Mobile, I would highly recommend you guys play on low. It'll help your frames a lot. Now for 3D resolution, there are really two numbers that I would recommend setting it to. I would either recommend setting it to 75 if you don't really want to see any major differences, but if you guys are having a lot of frame drops, you guys can set it to as low as 60, and this should help your game overall run a lot smoother. Any lower than this, you guys are obviously pushing it a little bit, but if you guys want to, you can go for it. Texture quality, I would recommend setting it to low, but if you guys really want your game to look a little better, it won't affect it too much. It will simply take from your storage. Now for this next setting, this is pre-downloaded cosmetic textures. Now I would actually recommend setting this to on. A lot of people forget about this feature. It will unfortunately use more storage of your device. However, what this means is basically every time you see a skin in game, the textures will automatically be downloaded, so your game's not going to have to download the textures in the moment right there. And obviously that process of downloading the textures will use some resources, so because of that, it is better for your performance to actually have this on. Now for this next setting, I saw a lot of you guys complaining about 30 FPS being locked on your device, or saying that you can't get past 30 FPS. It's most likely because you have low power mode on. So you guys have to set allow low power mode to off. Reporting performance stats will take up a little bit of your CPU, so if you guys do want your game to run better, I would recommend setting it to disable. It's really not that big of a deal. Now before we get on into the actual on-device settings you guys can change, I just want to let you guys know Epic is working very hard to optimize iOS since the game obviously just re-released on the App Store. A lot of you guys have been complaining about optimization, saying your device is running poorly. I just want to remind you guys that the game literally just returned. Like, Epic has not really had time to truly optimize the devices, so just stay patient. I promise guys, there is going to be some major improvements to optimization in the near future. All right, but anyways, now we're going to get on into some of the settings that you guys can actually change on your device. So you guys are going to want to swipe on out of Fortnite, open up your settings, head on over to general, and head on into iPad or iPhone storage. And I would just recommend that you guys have at least 20% of your storage on your device cleared. Now this overall helps the game because Epic Games essentially is swapping your storage to your RAM and your RAM to your storage, but you really don't got to worry about all that. Just know that having more storage for the game is overall going to generally help your frame rate as a whole, because it's going to make this process of swapping the RAM to the storage a whole lot easier for your device. Now next, you guys are going to want to head on over to guided access right here, and you guys might already have this enabled. Make sure you guys enable guided access, and I'm going to show you guys what this does. I went over in my last video, but basically what this does is when you're in Fortnite, you just triple tap your power button like that, guided access started, and bang. This is going to completely eliminate notifications, eliminate basically everything on your device that could cause some performance issues, and this is just naturally known to improve your FPS as a whole, so I would highly recommend playing with guided access mode. And if you guys want to exit it, just triple tap your power button again. Now next, you guys are going to want to search up background app refresh right here, and essentially you guys are going to want to disable this for as many apps as possible. So if you guys are not using Translate, like I'm not using Translate, I don't know about y'all, voice memos I'm not using, basically you're going to want to disable background app refresh for as many apps as you possibly can, or if you want, you can really just disable it for everything. But yeah, once you guys have disabled basically every app that you are not actively using, you guys are now going to want to search back here again, search for software update right there, and just make sure guys' iPad or iPhone is fully up to date, because Apple is constantly doing performance and optimization updates with their iOS versions. Now next thing is a super easy thing that I don't understand why more people don't do. Make sure you guys are closing out all of your apps before you're playing Fortnite. This is a super small thing, but all those apps are taking up some sort of CPU on your device, so there is literally no reason to not close them unless you're about to use them again. But I would highly recommend closing out all your apps except for Fortnite. Now this next setting is super optional, but if you guys do want want, you guys can also go out of your way to disable Apple Intelligence and Siri, or Siri if you guys are on an older Apple version. I would recommend disabling Apple Intelligence because this does actually naturally use your CPU. It's constantly running in the background. It's just basically waiting for you to press on the Siri button. Now, along the topic of Apple Intelligence, I would recommend searching up Fortnite right here, clicking on that, then tapping on Apple Intelligence and Siri, and turning off Learn from this app on this tab. This is pretty self-explanatory, but just know that this will basically use less resources while playing Fortnite. Now, this next thing I'm going to talk about is actually kind of an external thing. It's something that you can't really do from your device or on Fortnite, but if you guys do actually want, you can purchase a cooling fan for your mobile device, and this will help a ton. I've only heard amazing things from people who have chosen to get a cooling fan for their device. It's a lot easier on phone. You can literally get a MagSafe cooling fan that you can just magnetically attach to your phone. Super cool. People are constantly saying, oh my god, my device is overheating after 30 minutes. My game's dropping at 10 FPS now. Definitely does suck, and that's one of the biggest issues about playing on mobile versus PC or console. All right, now before we get on into the biggest change that you guys can do that will instantly fix your Fortnite mobile frames, I just gotta quickly plug real quick, guys. I have not plugged my creator code in literally like 2 years now. So if you guys appreciate all the Fortnite mobile news that I'm providing for you guys and have provided you guys throughout this entire ban, I would greatly appreciate it if you guys considered using my creator code GOLDEN in the Fortnite item shop. It's super easy. Just tap it in right there. Obviously, I haven't been able to make content on this game for a few years now, so I would seriously appreciate if you guys considered using my code because, hey, I'm gonna be honest, your boy's going a little broke. All right, so now we're gonna be going over the biggest change that you guys can make to your game right now that will instantly fix your performance. All right, now because this is obviously a bug, if you're watching this further down the line, there's a good chance that this bug has now been patched, so it's probably not going to do you any good doing this method. But if you guys are watching this within the first probably like 1 to 2 weeks of this upload, then this is 100% going to help your FPS, and I'm gonna show you guys what I'm talking about. All right, now to help you guys understand this bug, I'm gonna quickly make my FPS a whole lot bigger here. I'm gonna put it up here. All right, now just watch my FPS while I free build. Oh my, we're dropping to 90, we're dropping to 95. All right, we're editing. Why are we dropping to 80? Oh my, 70, 50. Oh my. See what I mean though? That's super weird. Like our frames are clearly dropping a whole lot while we're doing that. But now let's just watch how I'm just running around. I'm just, you know, jumping, playing the game. 120 consistent. Nothing is going wrong with my frames here. It's super smooth. This is how the brand new iPad Pro should be running Fortnite Mobile. All right, so you guys are probably thinking, so it's got to be when you're, you know, building and editing stuff. So let me just show you guys. There it is. My frames are dropping right when I start building and editing and basically just doing anything on Fortnite Mobile. 82. Oh my, 64. What is going on? And yeah, literally just spamming your edit button. Look, I'm sitting here. I'm just spamming my edit button. We're dropping to like 86. You know, like this is crazy for the brand new iPad Pro. But let me show you something real quick. Let me switch to this new adjusted HUD layout tool. And now watch what I was literally just doing on that other HUD layout tool on this HUD layout tool. Now you guys can see we're consistently getting above at least 119 while spamming the edit button. So clearly something must have changed between my HUD layout tools. And that's exactly what I'm going to be showing you guys how to do in this video to basically fix your HUD layout tool to make your frame rate a whole lot better. All right, yeah, also here's me cranking. You guys saw when I was cranking before, I was literally dropping to like 60 FPS. All right, so basically let me explain what I did to save my FPS with this HUD layout tool versus my default HUD layout tool right here. All right, so there's basically currently a bug in Fortnite Mobile where basically the more buttons you have hide/show between modes, the more your FPS is going to drop in the game. So for example, look at my default HUD here. You guys can see when I switch from building mode here to edit mode, you guys can see there's literally 4 new buttons that appear right there. We obviously got the crosshair edit button, we have the crouch button, we have all that reset button and stuff. And obviously when we switch between combat and build mode, you guys can see there's other changes that happen when we switch between these modes. A bunch of new buttons reappear. And unfortunately with this bug currently in the game is going to lag more if you have more of those buttons that are switching between modes. So yeah, here I'm back in my default HUD. You guys can see, bang, we're dropping 85 literally from just editing a wall or a stair or whatever we just edited there. It's crazy how many frames we're dropping. So basically my final tip for this video, and this is definitely the biggest change you guys can do to fix your FPS, I would recommend having as little buttons hide/show between modes as humanly possible. I get it, guys. There's obviously certain buttons that you guys are going to need to have in edit mode and need to have in build mode. So my tip is to basically just see how little buttons you guys can get between switching modes to overall help your FPS get a lot better. Because again, you guys can see already this game is running 120 consistent, which again is how it should be running. But yeah, hopefully this tip ultimately does help you guys improve your FPS if you guys choose to do this. But yeah, guys, that is currently the best possible methods to improve Fortnite Mobile on your iOS device after the ban. These changes definitely help make the game a whole lot more enjoyable. So hopefully you guys are enjoying Fortnite Mobile. And if you're not, then again, hopefully this video helps you guys enjoy it just a little bit better. But either way, guys, this has been golden. Do with this information as you will. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye.